Welcome. I'm just going to wait one more minute to let people into the room, and then we're going to get started. Okay, my name is Professor Nora Colton. I'm the director of the Global Business School for Health. I'm going to be talking to you today about scholarship and funding. We're going to be opening recruitment soon for 23-24, and it's really important for you to consider your funding as early on in the process as possible. You can apply to a program and also be searching for funding simultaneously. You can apply to scholarships before you actually get accepted into programs. The earlier you engage, the more higher your opportunity to securing funding. So I have a presentation. I'm going to take you through it. So I'm going to put it up now, and we can get started. Okay, so again, welcome to GBSH scholarships and funding information session. I know for some students, it might seem a bit early to start thinking about how you're going to fund your degree even before you've applied to it. But actually, it's those students who are on the front foot, who think about funding and secure scholarships early on, who have the most success in funding their education. So before I get going, I just want to take a moment and tell you a little more about myself and also a little bit more about the school. I'm Professor Nora Colton. I am an economist by training. Health and development economics are my specialization. And I have been directing the Global Business School for Health now for the last year and a half. We launched a year ago, and currently we have our first cohort of really exceptional students studying on our various degree programs. GBSH, the Global Business School for Health, is the first business school in the world totally dedicated to educating the next generation of health and healthcare managers. We are really a interdisciplinary school that operates at the intersection between business and management and health and healthcare. The reason we believe that this is such an important space to fill and to offer degrees in is that the health ecosystem is evolving and changing. How we think about health and healthcare, we're moving away from a real focus on diseases and therapeutics and moving more to think about prevention and diagnostics. But the stakeholders that are involved in this evolving ecosystem are changing as well. We see businesses playing a bigger role. We see, big tech, other kinds of players coming in, particularly in terms of thinking about prevention and health. So it's time really that we rethink and reimagine in healthcare. As we know, in some countries, almost 20% of their GDP goes to healthcare. It's the fastest growing sector in the world. And for good reasons. We've got aging populations. We have non-communicable diseases like cardiovascular disease and diabetes that is taking the lives of people early across the world, not just in developed countries, but developing countries. And we also see that, climate change will have all sorts of impacts on people's health. So there's really no better time to study in a school like ours than now. And the job opportunities and demand for people in this area is extremely important and great. And we want to make sure that we're at the front of really creating students and professionals for the future who understand and can reimagine healthcare, because the current system and model we have now is not working, and it hasn't worked for decades. But as the number and demands and expectations of patients increase, we need really a different way to think about healthcare. So in the Global Business School for Health, we have a number of professional programs, master's programs. We also are offering for this coming year PhDs, and in 23-24 we'll be launching a part-time doctorates in business administration health, which is quite exciting. So we have information programs for all these various programs that you can attend and learn more through our open days online, and we'll also be having some face-to-face events. So I'm just going to quickly run through the programs before I get started talking to you about scholarships and funding. We've got our UCL Mba Health. Again, we launched it this year with an exceptional cohort of 30 MBA health students from all over the world. It really is a very diverse group, not just in terms of geography, but in terms of backgrounds and professions. We have people with dentistry backgrounds, medical doctors, dentists, the people from public health, people from biotech and pharmaceutical backgrounds. So it really is an exceptional group of people. We have someone in the class who has a marketing background and who wants to pivot into health. So it's a wonderful program, a great opportunity. It's a high impact, transformational opportunity for those people looking for MBAs. In 23-24, we'll couple our UCL Health MBA with one that is an executive MBA. The real key difference is the MBA Health is a full-time and part-time but face-to-face program here in London. The executive MBA Health is designed for professionals, people with more job experience. It's a part-time program ran over 2 years. It's mainly online, and each year you have an opportunity to do a week residential, one in the UK in your first year and in the second year in a different location to get a deep dive into health systems. So those are our MBA suite. And we also, as I mentioned, have our new Doctorates in Business Administration Health. It's a DBA, it's a professional doctorates. It's a part-time program ran over 5 years. The first 2 years you take coursework and you have a module each semester that's taught through a 1-week residential. And then in the 3rd to 5th year, you work on your dissertation. We also have our PhD programs that have launched already this year. You will work individually on a topic, a research topic with a professor. Those are 3-year degree PhD programs. You come on as an MPhil and then you transition to the PhD. Then, of course, we've got our other suite of master's programs that we're so excited about. We've got an exceptional group of students taking these MSCs this year. We've got our MSc in Biotech and Pharmaceutical Management. It's an opportunity to really, particularly if you've got a science or economics background and you want to really pivot into biotech and pharmaceuticals, very exciting, areas and parts of our health ecosystem. You'll learn a lot about the business of these industries and the dynamics, as well as clinical trials and statistics, and also things like supply chain management. Students on this program do a project that runs across the year working with industrial mentors. And it's the same thing for our MSc in digital health and entrepreneurship. Again, you'll learn loads about digital health, but also how to run a startup, be innovative, and to work on a project and create a business plan and a pitch. And then last but not least, we have our extremely popular MSc in Global Healthcare Management with Roots. This is a very unique MSc in the sense that you get the core modules you would expect in a healthcare management program, but you also get the opportunity to specialize. You can specialize in healthcare analytics, healthcare finance, or leadership. And it's a really wonderful program with lots of opportunities. And all of these programs have loads of interaction with real-time professionals in the field. So I'm now going to just briefly talk about, the kind of costs of undertaking one of these programs. And then we're going to get into talking about, finance options for you. So we've got our MBA Health, as I mentioned to you, that's really our flagship program. It's mainly a face-to-face, but we do have a few part-time students doing that program. All of our programs will run in 23-24 at Marshgate, which is the brand new building that UCL is building there. It has an executive suite, and that's where the MBA Health modules will be taught. And it's on the Queen Elizabeth Park. It's a 12-month program if you're doing it full-time, 24 months if you're doing it part-time, and it costs $45,000. Again, as I mentioned to you, we're launching in 23-24 our executive MBA. It's a mainly online program. It runs over 2 years. And each year you do have an opportunity to do what we call a deep dive. It's a 1-week residential, one year in the UK and 1 year somewhere abroad. And that costs also $45K. Then we have our new, just recently approved doctorates in business administration health. We're really excited about this program. It runs over 5 years. It costs £16,000 for the year 1 to 3. And then for the final 2 years, you pay $8,000 a year for a total of $64,000. It is 5 years in duration. The first 2 years, you'll be undertaking coursework, and you'll have a module each semester, and you will come to the UK, or if you're in the UK, you'll attend a 1-week program each semester for the module that's running that term. And then we're also very excited now to be offering PhDs. At UCL, you'll start with your MPhil PhD. It's broadly in the area of healthcare management, but given the diversity and interdisciplinary nature of our staff in the Global Business School for Health, you can work with any of our staff. If you're thinking about doing a PhD, the way you should approach it is to find the academic that you would like to supervise you, create a draft of what you would like to research in terms of a research proposal, and send it to that person along with your CV to see if there's a match and some interest for them to supervise you. In terms of costs, if you're a UK student and you undertake it full-time, you pay $5,690 per year, and a part-time $2,845. Overseas students, if you're doing it full-time, it's $26,500, and part-time $13,230. I do want to add, though, that our PhD is not an online program, so you do have to reside in the UK for a portion. If you're full-time, you have a residency requirement for those programs. Our MSCs for 23-24 will cost $17,900 if you're a UK student, and $31,800 for overseas students. Those can again be taken full-time if you're an overseas student, and full-time and part-time if you're a UK student. All of these programs are taught at Marshgate on the Queen Elizabeth Olympic Park at UCL East. Now, I just want to show you how the fees work and what you can expect. So I'm going to just use the MBA as an example here. What's included? Well, your study materials, we go to great lengths at UCL to have all your reading materials set up in a reading list that you can easily access. Of course, your registration, your tuition, in terms of, the training that you'll get, the education, and exams and resits, and of course, your graduation ceremony. If you're on the MBA, it has a module called the Global Health Challenge. It has an overseas trip. You will have to pay for your accommodations overseas and your flight, but UCL and us at the Global Business School of Health will cover all your activities on the ground, your ground transportation, and your food in country. So if you undertake the MBA, this is how it breaks out. At UCL, students pay, by the way, 3 installments. So if you're doing the MBA in term 1, you'd pay 15 grand. In term 2, you'd be paying 15 grand. And in term 3, you'd pay 15 grand across the year if you're doing full time. If you're part time, in year 1, you'll pay 7,500. You'll pay the same amount in year term 2 and the same in year term 3, and then again in the second year. There is no charge made for paying installments, and there's no discount offered if you pay in full in advance. So that's how the financing is done at UCL. Now, this is just an example of what it costs on top of your tuition to or fees, sorry, to live in London. So we estimate that it averages about 250 pounds a week. Again, rent is about 166. Your household bill is about £8. If you're getting a student transportation card, that's about 15 pounds. We assume you need about 31 pounds a week for food. Course materials, you may or may not need those, but about 4 pounds, your mobile phone about 4 pounds, and then going out about 12 pounds, and then health and clothes and other things about 14. So again, this is an estimate. I know students who live on a lot less than that, and I know students who live on a lot more than that. So it's really up to you, but that gives you just a sense of what you need to think about when you're thinking about doing your budget and your costs for doing this degree. Now I want to get into talking to you about the scholarships. There's lots of different scholarships that are offered for students. There's department scholarships that we offer here in the UCL Global Business School for Health. Then UCL itself has a lot of scholarships and bursaries. If you're a UK student, you have UK government loans that you can take, and in other countries, you can often use government loans to study here in the UK. If, for example, you're from the United States, US students can get a federal loan and study here in the UK, as well as in the US. And so that's very important to know. There could be other funding options, so I'll talk about some of those. And then, of course, other additional ways that you can support the funding of your education. So first of all, I want to just talk to you about what we offer in the Global Business School for Health. For 23-24, we're going to have 4 scholarship schemes. We will continue to have our Women's Healthcare Leaders Scholarship. That's a scholarship that we offered this year, and we had 20 women or individuals who identify as female who received that scholarship. It's a £5,000 scholarship. It's a discount on your tuition. All the scholarships that we give through the department are discounted against your tuition. And then you also, the women on this program get some extra coaching and leadership development. We have a large number this year of executive MBA excellence scholarships for people who want to come on and do our executive MBA. Those are £15,000 scholarships spread over the 2 years. So you get 7,500 and 7,500 each year over the 2 years that you do that program. So a real great opportunity for those students. We continue to have our MBA Health Future Impact Leaders Scholarship, which is a fully funded scholarship. And we also have the Global Healthcare Leaders Scholarship, which funds international students. So some great opportunities and ways in which you can fund your education through our department. So I'm just going to quickly go through each of these. The Women Healthcare Leaders Scholarship, as I just told you, you can get up to £5,000. It's for people who identify as female and demonstrate exceptional leadership potential. It also has with it a coaching and development package. To apply for this, you need to apply for one of our master's programs, our degree programs, research degree programs. We'll use your application, and we also ask you to write a 500-word essay to the admissions team's mailbox that you'll send it to, articulating your leadership potential in healthcare. So when you send in those, and you'll see on our website, it'll explain how to apply to that scholarship. Then we have the MBA Health Future Impact Leader Scholarship. Again, there are a suite of these. They can be up to £45,000. So that's a fully funded fees covered for our MBA through this scholarship scheme. It's for really exceptional students undertaking an MBA Health. Applicants must plan to take the knowledge gained from their MBA and make a real difference in the field of health management when they complete this program. Again, you need to be on our MBA Health program. So it says here, research degrees and MSCs, that's incorrect. This is only a scholarship for people doing the MBA. And so you also, again, will write a 500-word essay, and there may be an interview associated with that program. The eMBA Excellence Scholarship is, as I mentioned to you, we've got a number of these awards. They're £15,000. You get $7,500 per year. And again, it's designed for people who are accepted onto the eMBA, and you know, you'll write an essay. And then last but not least, we have our Global Healthcare Leaders Scholarship, which is up to £5,000. It's for students from either the UK, Africa, Asia, or South America who show exceptional leadership. And again, you would apply for this. You can be on any of the programs, and you need to write a 500-word essay. So as you can see, we'll look at your application. We'll use that. But you will also need to write a 500-word essay, and you'll need to apply for this scholarship. Once your application is open in 2023, you will be able to submit your scholarship application alongside submitting your application for the program. Of course, you can't get a scholarship unless you've been accepted onto the program, and the fees will go towards your tuition. Now I want to move on and tell you just about some other scholarship opportunities here at UCL. So we've got a number of opportunities. If you're a UK student and you come from a low income background, we have UCL master's bursaries. You can get up to £10,000 for that. There's also the Sir Malcolm Grant Scholarship, which is up to £25,000 and it's targeted people who've already done a degree at UCL. There's the Thomas Witherden BAT Scholarship. It's again £10,000. The international fee partnerships, and that can vary. And then, as you've seen, the department scholarships I've already talked about. There's also at UCL a scholarship finder, so you can put in your details. You go to this website, Scholarship Finders. You put that you're a prospective student, the academic year you want to start, the level that you're starting at, which department you're interested in, and you'll be able to pull up scholarships that match what you want to do. Then, of course, there's always loans that you can get. If you're a UK student, you can get up to £11,570 for 23-24. You can get other loans for top masters and research masters, full-time, part-time. There are not, though, for flexible, but we do not offer flexible programs in the Global Business School for Health. If you're a resident in the UK, you can get these scholarships, and if you're under 60, you can get these loans. I'm sorry. Then there's also other ways, and this I tell students really is a gold mine. You go into this. This is an alternative guide to postgraduate funding resources. It's a large database with all sorts of charities and other organizations that offer grants that you can apply to. If you're a prospective student, to access the site, you need to put in a PIN number 3098. And then you go to this website that's under Doctoral Skill Development Program, and you can find all sorts of funding opportunities to engage with. Additionally, of course, there's other kinds of financing. I mentioned the federal loans. There's also smaller loans, and the doctoral school has fellowships. So if you're interested in a PhD, you can look on their website. There's also, if you're looking to do an MBA, there's different organizations. One is called LendWise or Future Finance, who offer loans to students to fund their MBAs and education. Then there's also for international students, scholarships such as the Chevening, the Commonwealth, the Fulbright, the Great. You can look and find these, contact the British Council in your country. You might also find that in your country, the Ministry of Health has some scholarships or some ways in which you can fund your education. So you really need to do your research along with thinking about the degree you're going to apply to. You need to do some time, put some time into finding out about what's available. The other thing I want to mention to you is that as an international student and as a home student, of course, you can work part-time while you're studying in the UK. In fact, you can work up to 20 hours a week and full-time out of term. So it's a great opportunity to get some work experience here in the UK. We've got an international student support team. So if you Google international student support, you can find their website and they can talk to you about different options and working in the UK while you're studying. And it's definitely possible. The other thing that I wanted to mention to you is that when you finish your degree, there's also the opportunity to have what's called a post-study work visa. And you can work up to 2 years after your master's degree on this route in the UK in a job on a work visa through this scheme. And it's a great opportunity for you to, again, after getting your master's degree, get some additional work experience. So just to kind of wrap up, all of this information around GBSH can be found on our website. Student funding can be found on the UCL website. The loans, the master's loans can be for the UK can be found on the government website. And then last but not least, there's the independent financial advice that will help you think about your financing and your education. So that's the end of my presentation. We've got, of course, lots of events, as I mentioned, coming up. If you want to learn more about our MBA Health, the 13th of October at 6 p.m. we've got an event online. Our healthcare management, our PhDs, we've got a kind of a research degree day coming up on the 17th. There's also on the 18th an open day online for our global healthcare management, and on the 24th the biotech and pharmaceutical management. So just go to our event page on our website. We're really here to help you and support you on your journey as you think about your degree. And of course, if you've got any specific questions and if you're interested in the MBA and you want to talk to the MBA director, just email our admissions GBSH mailbox. We're really here to help and support you. We want to answer your questions and make your journey at the Global Business School for Health a positive one and help you with your choice. So I'm going to stop my presentation now. I see I already have a couple questions, which is fantastic. And I'd be more than happy to answer any questions. So when do the applications for the MBA open up? Great question. We're hoping that the admission site will be open up in the next 2 weeks. Keep following us. As soon as it's up, we will be broadcasting it on the website, and really hope to see your application. Will these slides be sent to us, please? We don't normally send the slides, but what we do is we post the presentation on our YouTube channel. So if you go there, you'll find the presentation. All right, so those are great questions. Is there any other questions? I'm just gonna hang in here a little longer. Quite a large question from Helen. Hi, Professor. I'm interested in the MSc Global Health Care Program. I'd like to ask a few questions. How many quotas are offered for women leadership scholarships and global health care leadership? So in terms of the scholarship itself, we will give probably about what we did this year, and that's 20 scholarships. On the global healthcare management program, on that leadership stream, we are planning to take at least 50 students this year on that stream. So, and the way that works is you'll have 2 modules that are core, and you'll take those with everyone regardless of what route they're taking, and then you'll have the leadership modules that are smaller. And by the way, regardless how many students we take, we use what we call a flipped classroom. So you have at least 2 hours of seminars in classes no bigger than 25. And then will there be any interviews? Again, you know, we reserve the right to interview. And if we get, you know, lots of applications for these scholarships, we probably will do interviews. How do I stand out in the crowd? Well, it's really by emphasizing your background. I don't know you, but you know, we are looking for people who, so your personal statement really matters for us. You don't necessarily have to come from a health background. That's great if you do. You can come from a business and management background, but what really helps and will make you stand out is having a compelling reason why you want to do these degrees, and also why we should fund you in terms of a scholarship. So really pack your resume, your CV with everything that you've done. Try to think about driving a narrative, both with your CV and also your personal statement, that really makes it quite clear and overwhelming why this program is the right program for you. And then, of course, your reference. We will check all your reference. So pick someone who really knows you. Make sure that you speak to them ahead of time about your ambitions for this program so that they can write a compelling reference that also is authentic and shows that they know you and that they know why you want to do this program. If you do that, you will definitely stand out. No, there's multiple scholarships awarded. So all of these scholarships, there's multiple, none of them are just one. Okay, I hope that answered your question. And then what is the criteria for the Women in Leadership and the global MBLA? I'm not sure which scholarship that's referring to, but the criteria is on our website. So if you just go to the website, you can see, of course, for the Women in Leadership, you have to be female or identify as female. And then, of course, that statement that you write is very important for all of these. We'll have your application. So, of course, you need to have a standout application, as I just said to Helen. Hi, Professor, I'm interested in a PhD program. What are the options available for scholarships? So you need to identify who a supervisor. You need to email them, write to them. You need to prepare a very compelling research proposal. And then the best place to look is the doctoral school has a number of scholarships. Currently, we do not have PhD fellowship studentships in the department. We hope to have those in the future, but there are a number of PhD scholarships offered through the doctoral school. So please look there. And then you can also look using that website I showed you that's designed for that purpose, seeing if there's other organizations that you can apply to get a scholarship. And once you've identified your supervisor, it might be something that you could talk to them about as well. Does experience play a part in selection into the course? Well, it definitely plays a very direct role in the MBAs. If you're going for the in-person MBA, you need at least 3 years work experience. And if you're going for the executive MBA, you need 7 years work experience. You can come straight out of a bachelor's degree into one of our master's programs if you're going into one of the MSc programs, but the other programs require work experience. Having said that, having work experience and highlighting that will help you stand out, as I just said to Helen a minute ago, on your application. All right, and then the YouTube channel. So if you go to our website, you can see on our website how to connect to our YouTube channel. And if you can't find it, just email our admissions mailbox and they will tell you how to find it. All right, so I think that's all of the questions. It's really good to have the opportunity to speak to you. And again, as I just have pointed out, don't be shy to email us, contact us. If you're interested in one of the MBAs, again, happy to have you speak to the MBA director. If you're interested in a PhD, you can write to the academic directly and send them your CV and your research proposal. Please look around. Also, check anything available in your country, anything through the British Council. Now's the time to really plan and get your research, get your scholarship applications in. And then I think that's really it from me. And yes, if you're interested in that MBA, email our mailbox and we'll get you a one-on-one with the MBA director. All right, have a great evening, afternoon, depending on where you're at. Thank you so much for joining me. Take care and hope to see you at another event. Bye.